Hello, this is Gerald Jovenwas. Every letter is related with a specific focus which is dominating. You can have all kinds of focuses, which I very quickly will tell you what kind of focus they are and why certain letters fit to these focuses and in which way very quickly before I will have another demonstration of eagle. The word eagle has sounds that are a bit further away from each other so that you cannot immediately see how to combine them, so because they are quite distant from each other, quite different, but I will make it anyhow. And even with the scheme that I use usually, when you have enough attention of what's really happening there in each of these focuses, you will be able to combine them. At least I will be able to combine them. So what are the three focuses? You had them already in the first image, quite resumed in this scheme. But I will tell you very quickly what kind of focus you can have and what kind of letters that you can have. So if their letters are related with the idea that we can have that focus upon that letter in sound and in association with it where it fits, they will always fit to a focus quite nearby to where you are and describe what you're seeing before you in space. So all these letters are points in space. We receive them, we choose them, we pick them out as our with our interpretation. That's why this figure is dominating and the place before you is dominating, because there we can point the points before us with 1, 2, or 3 points, and where into these positions in the middle, in the whole volume there, or at the edges there, we can have definitions. So that's why we have there 9 differences that we can have there, distinctions that we can have there, with 9 positions, 9 letters. If it's not just the positions, the starting positions that matter, but we also see, okay, what can we do with it, and it seems that it doesn't fit just on one place, or it's moving, it's changing. We deal with another option, another place, another opinion, another person, and we watch these changes with directions. So there the directions are much more dominating, and also there we have 9 different directions. And that's focusing basically on what is different, on the other, on the changes. The third kind of option, which also gives a completely different mindset as well, is what already the letter P is going towards, which is the full results of its reality. It wants to see its full results of reality and goes towards that. And then we come into the realm of, yes, it's full reality. We cannot see its full reality. So we also limit it a little bit there to what we can see, to what we can grasp. So we're going to define the range of focus which is correct and part of a bigger whole. So we're not counting on, yeah, we know the place, I know what to handle with, so because that gives you the limitations of what you yourself is able to see. So that's already the first limitation. And then also with the directions, it usually says, okay, how the things are presented, and then we depend on it, on how we interpret it and what we can reach in that point, what is different, what is the other. But the sum of these two, so from what I see and how the things are presented, comes to the interpretation of, yeah, how much can I see and how much is really going to be realized, and how much is going on there really. And the combination of the interpretations and what you can see is the interpretation of the range of focus of behaviors that I can recognize. Something can be recognized of reality within a whole set of behaviors, and what we see there, with what we see there, we can actually define already, okay, something is there that I can recognize. And that's the same for everybody, because the thing that we can recognize is something more universal in its limitations of frame, even if its limitations of interpretation and in its representations, it's still recognizable. Like you can recognize something that can be applied anywhere, at any time, at any place, in any choice, in any kind of representation. So that's basically what we have, these three regions of representation with all of its letters and all of its variations. We will, for eagle, we will combine letters actually which have a foundation at a certain point. But if we mix them and the foundations, they move place because they have an order which do not follow its order that we have already in the scheme, it will be a bit more difficult to combine them, but I will tell you how to combine them. Eagle is a very good example for that, because the letters are in very different places. They do not follow up very well, and so you need to have a kind of method, which you also have to learn how to combine these things if you want to use a frame of steady focuses. You have to move the focuses along with the order of letters, and that's also something that needs some practice, and this video will be a very good practice. Finding the positions in the scheme is easy because they are already presented to you. So you have two letters of the fixed focuses, so the choices that you make. Okay, here I have my starting points, I use these starting points, they are about that aspect. It's very simple on its own. And also the directions, they are simple on its own. So I'm dealing here with the changes. I'm looking at what is different here, what are the changes here. It's also quite an easy idea. The idea also of G and I are looking at the focus. What kind of focus do I have on its own? It's also quite simple on its own. But how do I combine all these things will be expressed in the next couple of frames. Here is my first preparation. So we have actually one region of where I will define within the reality and all its continuations. I will have to define a limitation there. My limitation is defined by the letter E. E is about limitation. What's the limitation that I'm going to have? The word starts orally with the E, so it will have also that idea of, no, I have to limit my frame. It's only that part, not the full reality and all of its variations. No, I'm going to limit my focus. What's the limit about? It's written as E and A. So that's the combination I will have. It's quite complicated what I'm going to tell now if you hear this for the first time, because now I'm talking about the technical things, how you can recognize these. E is about timing. Timing means there are two different timings, a beginning and an ending. So I have a really defined starting point and ending point. So within these limits, within this time frame, I will focus upon what is different. So I will focus upon a difference which reveals itself after a while. A timing is there. A usually is about a place where I can start from, where I can have an idea of what the things are, what they are, as a physical reference, a physical starting point, and so on. So also that are ideas which on its own are easy to find out. The difficulties here is about that we have E orally at the same time as E and A. E is the timing in two places. Usually goes from, I start from somewhere and I go to a timing so that I can see the change from E to E. The A is that starting point where I start first, but it's the other way around here. So the E is written first and then the A. So what do I have to do here when I combine these? A usually the starting place. I can have it at some middle, but let's have it like in the scheme, a starting place just immediately up at the place of the starting place. In the word, it's the second letter. In the E sound, it's the second letter, so I have to move it up to the second place. So I have the change first and then the object. So there's a change of the object. The object itself moves, and it is going towards the second position. So I have an object of moving already, an object of changes. It's the object itself which is due to change that are going to focus upon the object. So there's change first, and then I look at the object. So the first, and then I go to the object. What does the object do? It will have a move, because the first three letters of every region is also about focus on space first. So the G is about a move in space, move of a feedback system towards something bigger than the limitation that you have. So it's a move towards a bigger space in a way. So the object moves also and has a change towards a bigger space. That's already some ideas which fit to the theory, which fit to the order, which you have already an idea that I'm talking here about an object that will have to show a move, a change to a bigger space, which already fit to the eagle, of course. So what is a resume of this? Later I will tell you what kind of form comes out or what kind of ideas can come out. But E first is at any time, at any place, I can recognize what and when this should happen, this focus should happen, and when we have this focus, when it makes sense to have this focus of E. E at the same time is described by E and A, so there is a timing first, and then it goes towards a focus of the object, the focus of change, which will, because of the G, move to a bigger space. That's the first, or to not just a bigger space, but it can also be within that last region, the region of the definitions, the regions of the concepts, the region of the things that we can use as definitions or decisions, even at some point that we prepare it, we notice it and see, okay, here we have the concept as well. So that's at the same time, that's that kind of focus. It would be easier, and I will have this example now just it's about time that I give this example. Why is this? Why are these letters associated as such? We hear them also, and we hear them into one of these three main focuses. The E is up there. That's the sound where we associate the E focus. You see these frequencies on top. So where you know, okay, here we have to have a selection. We're not sure, where does that start, where does that end? So we have to make a decision there somewhere. It's that kind of attention which is it is pushed to us by having this signal of E. The A underneath, how we write it, also gives us an idea, but what do we have to notice? Right, because of the A is somewhat in between these sounds. We'll say, okay, give it some time, it will be there somewhere, at some time it will be there, and A is the basic frequencies, is underneath. It is where you realize, okay, it's a reality. That's the point where I have. So you focus upon a selective area of E, a waiting time in E, and then the object of focus comes to us. All in this very short time of E in total, and E and A are associated. G after that, I have the frequencies here as well presented, so it will be pushed up and pushed up to that higher region where something will change. We don't know yet what it is yet, but it is about an attention. This attention will be given in the G. It will be pushed open to higher regions, to a higher region. So the E is that focus that will say, okay, here's my limit of my focus. Where will it be about? It will be about some change. Where will I land to? It will push me up. And of course, with L at the end, there will be that physical thing. There will be a physical presentation of it, focusing towards the center that is where we will find that focus, that main center. Where is that main center? Centered in the G, of course, because in the L comes forward from G. So it's something is pushed up and pushed up to that higher center up in the sky, or that higher center where we will have our concept. And there will be pushed up also something that will have will get its shape, get its form, will show its form, will show up as well, we could say as well. And because of the in the end, it will also say, okay, but there it will be something that has a timed idea behind it. It's timed to that point, really towards that point. And that timing is very important. There's that timing, in that point, there will be a form. We will form that towards that timing. But the G, as well, if I put that in that focus towards the same spot, it also means it goes towards a bigger space, the bigger space. And so I put the place a little bit further. And that bigger space, I show you already here that it not just goes to the concept that we know, but also to a concept that lies beyond it. It's further away. It's related with bigger things. It's related with a whole set of feedback systems that are related with it. So what it will focus, what will bring this focus, we do not know beforehand, but it is a whole bigger thing behind it that decides what kind of feedback back. All kind of circumstances or whatever will decide what will be happening there at the end. So let's put that focus a part of that G, and that let's figure that out. Yeah, of course, that idea behind it also, what kind of idea is pushed here and what will decide for that idea and so on. But let's see first how a form comes forward, because sound in form is basically first associated with, okay, how can we recognize the form that comes out of it, out of the focuses that are related with the letter order in words. So let's go to see the form first. So in the end, you have the G focus there that with the E and A lead to, and from there will also be the L. Just leave that out. You have the G here. So I will focus towards that area where something bigger can come out of it. So I had already E, A, A, and then the G there as well. And there the L, normally, if I put the L in, add it there to see where it happens. Normally it is from the region of form. But of course I have to put it into that frame of something bigger. The other letter that comes out of it as well is the E. We already know it will be about the timing, go from one point to another, from one form of another. It could be as well, because it's in the last letter it comes forward from the form, and it will go towards that point of change, and will focus upon, yeah, what is then different if I add a form there. So that's something we have to remember. We're going to use that later. So ig is the most easy thing. It's the going towards that form with the g pushing up. G is like you push up to the heavens, let's say. Well, something also is pushed down with the feedback systems. The bigger thing will be above it. Ig, focusing itself, and also the prepared focus, because E is that selection. How shall I select my vision there? There's a vision behind it. Something that will be selective. I will select what will be visible, maybe even at that point. It's that second point, not that first point, not about the preparations, but about the results. I focus upon the result, not the E, but A. The focus of object is my result. The results will be L, the form that comes out of it. Is that the right thing to do, the L in that way? That's now a question mark. I go, of course, the G will push it upwardly, but it also will push it beyond it towards a bigger concept. So I can have this pushing up of form towards, the bigger concept, towards another form, the form beyond it, behind it. That's also possible if I'm just focusing upon the form, with a certain timing towards it, that you can see I'm looking at the form in the end. I'm looking at what is different and how we can do something with it. So we have already the E or the A, and then the form, which I now put in two directions because G is here. And I have them up as well, where the form will be released towards the place or space beyond it. So I'm already closer to analyze my focus of letters, where it will go to. And if I compare them to eagle, it will be also exactly what it will do. It will go to a bigger space, and it will have that with the G to, in this case with L combined to the multiple form of formations, all the formations from there, from the bigger or the more towards more of that into that form of focus. The eagle underneath, the eagle on top. Combined with them, I thoroughly will start to understand what I will focus upon with eagle. I'll first focus on the form towards that bigger space, from one space to a bigger space, and with all the letters into it, I have the E from one timing to another timing, so into two, towards one middle focus, from there the forms, or in this case the plumes, or the plumes of the eagle will be shown symbolically as well, because it will come out from this region with the letter L, and with the G pushed up also to these bigger spaces, towards the outside itself, towards the big space as well, to the connections towards the big space as well, or the larger spaces as well. It's flying into the space, of course, as well. With the A in the end, with my focus on what will I be able to change from the change, or how do I need to change. It's that whole set of focuses towards that one point of where you will use all your form as well to adapt to what you need to achieve there, what you want to achieve there, where you concentrate upon something from there. But it's not just a form, it's also like a conceptual symbolic form as well, which is not just the form of accidentally a bird. It's also a focus. It's about the focus. This focus is symbolic as well. It's about that preparation of focus in your mind towards a bigger concept that you will meet there, and you will adapt to with your form, and will you keep your overview to what is formed there, and you will adapt all what is formed from that one center concentration of it. And it's not strange that we see this concept associated not just with the focus on truth with the ego, but also the focus upon a certain keeping control with a kind of law and order as a kind of governing idea towards that formation of what is formed there, and with the concept focus there additionally to it. There's a bigger concept to it, and let's focus on that mainly to maintain that effect, to maintain that focus. And so it's not strange that these eagles were used more often. Like here you have these two German eagles, you have here an Egyptian eagles, which are all associated also with that law and order and that governing, which will also have that extra focus to oppose extra attention to higher laws, as a well-prepared, strong focuses towards these expressions related with these concepts, these higher concepts. Nevertheless, it is also with that eagle eye, keep your focus strong. Notice also what is needed to adapt there. So it is decisive towards law and order. It seems to oppose this law and order, but it's a bit much more of like the eagle is in control. It is in control, and it has a prepared focus. It has its own focus also, that the adaptations will be performed well, so that it also will have a relations with this higher concept or concept behind it. If the eagle wants to maintain order, it will also maintain a good order as a matter of speaking. And it will notice what needs to be done. That's why the eagle is such a powerful symbol of, well, of this concentration to things that you even cannot see what is going beyond it, behind it. And that it's dealing with that. It's dealing with all these kind of circumstances. It has to adapt at the last moment towards, also like the eagle towards its prey, but also towards, to its environment, what is needed in my environment. The eagle will not simply attack and will destroy. It's not a destructive symbol. No, it's a symbol of what it, where order will make it healthy again, will make it workable again, so that the whole environment only picks out what is a bit which needs adaptation, so that law and order can continue to be there. All these concepts are behind it, and they are all visible into the concept of concentration and focus, which is described also in these letters. So I hope it was clear enough. It's not always easy to make good explanations, even not when you understand what you need to pay attention to. Explaining it well is not the easiest thing, and maybe I'm not always the best person to explain it well. Just if I wasn't clear enough, okay, just look at my video a few times again. Maybe if I make it again some other time, it will be more clear. It's already a bit too long for a video, but I hope it was clear enough and also pleasant enough to see it through as well. Thanks again for watching. Bye.